Just now I swore I'd never come back here because of those threats you shot at me yesterday. But the greatest pleasure is the joy you didn't even hope for. Came here despite my oaths, bringing this girl who's captured performing the rituals of burial. It was my good luck and no one else's. Now then, my lord, you take her as you wish and question and sentence her. I've justly freed myself from these troubles.
But this is Antigone. Why have you brought her here?
She was the burying the man, you know, the one you sentenced.
Is this true?
I saw her burying the very corpse you forbade. Am I speaking clearly?
The details. Come, tell me quickly.
This is how it happened. When we came back, threatened by those terrible things you said, we brushed off all the dust that was covering the body, left the clammy thing well and bare. Then we lay under the shelter of the highest hills, fleeing the foul stench. It was that time when the bright circle of the sun stands in the middle of the sky and the heat burns. Suddenly a cyclone lifted up from the earth, a storm of dirt, a distress of heaven. It fills the plain, tormenting and rippling the plain. The whole sky was filled. We just closed our eyes and rode out the divine storm, and after a while it ended. This girl was seen, who was wailing bitterly like the shrill voice of a bird who sees her empty nest, stripped of its nursling. Thus she screamed when she saw the uncovered body. She groaned loudly and called down evil curses on whoever had done the work. Immediately she gathered dry dust in her hands and from a jug of fine bronze lifted up the crowned corpse with 3 full libations. We saw it and rushed forward, caught her quickly, completely unperplexed. We questioned her both about the previous incident and the current. She stood in denial of nothing, something for me both sweet and painful all at once. Nothing is sweeter than escaping trouble for yourself, but it's painful to conduct friends into it. But for me, everything takes second place to my own safety.
And you, Antigone, with your head hanging, do you confess this thing?
Yes.
You may go. Tell me briefly, have you heard my proclamation touching this matter?
I had, it was very clear.
And yet you dared defy the law.
Yes, I dared to defy it. Because it wasn't Zeus who pronounced these things to me, nor did Justice, companion of the gods below, establish such laws for humanity. I would never think your pronouncements had such strength that, being mortal, they could override the unwritten, everlasting prescriptions of the gods. For those aren't something recently made, but live forever, and no one knows when they first appeared. I did not intend to pay the penalty for the gods for violating these laws in fear of some man's opinion, for I know I will die. How could I not, even if you had not proclaimed it? But if I die before my time, I say this in an advantage. Anyone who lives a life of sorrow as do I, how could they not count it a blessing to die? Therefore, there is no pain for me in meeting this fate, whereas if I had to endure the one born from my mother die unburied, that would cause me pain. As it is, I feel nothing. If, however, I seem to you to have acted foolishly, then perhaps I owe my foolishness to a fool.
Like father, like daughter, no reasoning with her. She will never learn. The inflexible heart breaks first. The toughest iron cracks first, and the wildest horses bend their necks at the pull of the smallest curve. Pride? In a slave? This girl is guilty of a double insolence, breaking the given laws and boasting of it. Who is the man here, she or I, if this crime goes unpunished? Sister's child, or more than sister's child, or closer yet in blood. She and her sister win bitter death for this. Go, some of you servants. Arrest Ismene. I accuse her equally. Bring her. You will find her sniffling in the house there. Her mind's a traitor. Crimes kept in the dark. Cry for light, and the guardian brain shudders. But how much worse than this is brazen boasting of bare-faced anarchy.
Do you want something more than killing me?
Nothing. That gives me everything.
Then why wait? Nothing you say gives me the slightest pleasure. I pray nothing you say ever will. And by the nature I offend you, and yet, come my fame, be more glorious established than by placing my brother in a tomb? I think all these people would agree. If fear did not hold their tongues, tyranny is lucky in many ways, above all in doing and saying what it will.
You are alone here in that opinion.
These think it too, but hold their tongues for you.
Maybe, but you are guilty and they are not.
There's no shame in revering one from the same womb.
But Edicles, was he not your brother too?
A brother by the same mother and father.
And you insult his memory.
The dead man would not agree with you.
He would, for your honor, a traitor as much as him.
This was not his slave who died, but his brother.
He made war on his country. What's the name again? Edicles defended it.
Nevertheless, Hades requires these rights.
But not the same for the wicked as for the just.
Who knows what is considered righteous?
An enemy is an enemy, even dead.
I cannot share their hate, only their love.
Go join them then, if you must have your love. Find it in hell.
Let's see! Ismene comes! Those tears are sister, the cloud that shadows her eyes, rain down to your sorrow.
Get over there!
Okay. What up?
You too, Ismene. Snake in my ordered house, sucking my blood, stealthily, and all the time I never knew that these two sisters are aiming at my throne. Ismene, do you confess your share in this crime or deny it? Answer me.
Yes, if she will let me say so, I am guilty.
I love no friends who are only friends in words.
Do you refuse me, Antigone? I want to die with you. I too have a duty that I must discharge to the dead.
You may not die with me, nor call yours that which you did not touch. My death is enough.
What do I care for, life when you are dead?
Ask Creon, since you are his protector.
You are laughing at me. Why, Antigone?
If I mock you, I do so with pain.
But can I do nothing?
I beg you to observe these girls. One has just now lost her mind. The other, it seems, has never had a mind at all.
Grief teaches the steadiest minds to waver, King.
Yours certainly did, when you assumed guilty with the guilty.
But how could I go on living without her?
You are. She is already dead.
But your own son's bride.
There are places enough for him to push his plow. I want no wicked woman for my sons.
Oh, dearest Haman, how your father wrongs you.
I've had enough of your childish talk of marriage.
Really intend to steal this girl from your son?
No, death will do that for me. She was gone. But enough of this talk. You, there, take them away and guard them well, for they are but women, and even brave men run when they see death coming.
We're recording. Dance it. It's gone? Tree. I'm not going to this cry. There'll be dramatic music in this part. What? Hey, hey. Thank you. Go. My abs. Go.